Are you a planner like me? Then this episode is for you. Well, sort of. All right, well, welcome back to another episode of Youth Ministry Insights. So excited to see you here with me. And I am a planner, and maybe you are too, or maybe you're not. And maybe you're like, well, I do things on the fly anyway, so this episode is not for me. But for those that like to plan, and honestly, in youth ministry, we have to plan a little bit, right? We have to plan the schedules. We have to know what's coming up. We have to get the supplies for it. I think I had another episode about this earlier. Check the show notes. But anyway, we have to plan some things out. And sometimes we can almost over-plan. But what happens when plans get changed? So recently, I've had a couple incidences in youth ministry, little happenings that happened when my plans just got suddenly changed. So, first example, we had our big core team retreat day / bonding day. So we had this retreat planned at the beach with some praise and worship music. We had a man from a local young adult ministry come. He was going to play the music for us, sing. We had prayers planned out, and we were going to go to the beach, and then we're going to go to have lunch at one of our leaders' houses that lived at the beach area, had a shore house. And then after that, we were going to have this great bonding day on this high ropes course where we can encourage one another and help one another. This is for our core team leaders. It sounded like a great day. On paper, awesome. Had everything planned out, had the drivers, had the parent chaperones, had all of the things needed. Again, the musician, the permission forms, we had it all together. The pricing of everything. And that day, the weather was iffy. We were like a 50-50 shot. We were going to get caught in storms. We weren't totally sure about it. It could have blown one way. It could have blown the other way. It blew our way. And it was monsooning. So we were on the beach. It was great. We were praying, and whoosh, the monsoon came in literally as soon as we left the beach. So it was nice that we got that whole part in the beginning, but the rest of our day, we are here now at the beach with these plans that are at the beach area, and we aren't able to do it. So what do? Well, quickly, we made some other plans. You have to look at what you have, right? All right, I have drivers. I have the youth right here. I have their money for the day of the plans that we had planned. What now can I do with it? And so God sometimes leads us to these points and lets us, kind of struggle a little bit, but to make these decisions. So again, work with what you have is what I took from this. Work with what you have, and to make the situation as close to or as best as you can good for your youth. So again, we got that prayer time in, so I was happy about that. So what we did was we took it to an indoor plan of a local nearby place that we could do something indoors for the kids. And it worked out great in the end. But we had to make a change on the fly. And with those changes was kind of like a ricochet effect of things that had to take place. Those youth had to contact their parents, let them know, these are plans changed. Are you okay with them? I had to talk to parents, talk them through the things, talk with the drivers, make sure they're okay. But the plans change on the fly. Another example of plans changing, and this can happen like all the time for you. That was my big one, but little things, right? Like the speaker cancels, especially with COVID right now. You have somebody that's in quarantine or somebody that, has it. That just happened to me. Had a speaker planned out months in advance. And the night came, and 2 days before that, she came down with COVID. It's going to happen. Things are going to happen. People are going to pull out last minute. So I made a whole new plan with some of my adult volunteers to do a whole different activity, a whole different talk and activity that night. And it required 4 of these adults. And we even, had enough time to promote it on Instagram. Okay, this is going to be the meeting instead. And one of the young adults last minute canceled. So it was just 3 of us. So it was like, okay, we're on now plan B. Okay, we went from A to B, and now we're on C. So it happens. Sometimes you have to have a plan C. So, okay, what are we going to do with these 3 adults? Can we adapt it? Can we change it? Can we make it different? Even though it was planned for 4 adults to lead this meeting. And it worked out in the end again, but you have to be flexible. You have to be ready to make these changes on the fly, because it was only 2 hours before the meeting that I found out the 4th adult couldn't make it, and we had to adapt. Sometimes you have a night where you overplan a ministry meeting. You have all these activities, but you only get to the first one and you're like, that's taking a lot longer than I anticipated. Or on the reverse side, it's taking a lot shorter than I anticipated. Be ready to make changes. It's always good to overplan and not maybe get to everything. Get to the most important things of your night and leave the extra games, the extra icebreakers to the end. Do some of the beginning, but don't do all of them. So you can maybe fill in the time. Also, always have things in the back of your pocket. I always like to have things in my back pocket, right? My back pocket where I'm ready to insert an extra game or insert something extra that is just kind of floating around in my mind. And I'm like, oh yeah, if there's a night at youth group that time allows for it, I'm going to put that in there. Because sometimes things, again, take a lot shorter, a lot quicker than you anticipated. So always be ready, basically always be prepared. And in the end, honestly, rely on the Holy Spirit. Sometimes you have this whole night planned and it's not really going well with the youth or as you thought it would with the youth. Well, it's quick, change it around. Change the game, change the plan, change the way you did it, and be ready to adapt on the fly with that. All these things are going to continue to help touch the hearts and touch the souls of the youth. However you plan, if it's A, B, C, D, wherever you have to go with it, just make sure you're reaching them in whatever you're doing. And God bless.